Okay, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. I am your instructor, Pierre Hui, aka Mr. P. The P is for patience, the P is for perseverance, the P is for pass your motherfucking barber theory exam. Okay. All right. So today is Wednesday. All right. Wednesday will be facial hair and skincare services day. Okay. Like I always say, I break it down into four sections because, according to the CIB, which is the Candidate Information Bulletin, which tells you what they're looking for the barber theory test, they got four sections. I break it down into four sections. Monday is usually scientific concepts. Tuesday, Tuesday is hair care services. Wednesday, facial hair and skincare services. And Thursday is implements, tools, and equipment. Okay. Let's break down the percentages real quick. Scientific concepts, 35%. Hair care services, 40%. Facial hair and skincare services is 15%. And implements, tools, and equipment is 10%. Now, here's what that means. When you take the master hair care, I recommend everybody take the master hair care over the barber theory simply because it's only 50 more questions. The studying that you're doing for the registered barber, you're doing just as much for the master hair care and vice versa. Okay. So on the theory, South Carolina master hair care barber theory exam, you have 110 questions. Registered barber is 60 questions. By the time you studied for those 60, you studied for those 110, basically, is what I'm trying to say. All right. Now, with that being said, you can pretty much deduce how many questions you're looking at if you're dealing with 15%. 15% of 100 is 15 questions. So it's just a little bit more than that. So you're probably looking at about 17, maybe 18 questions out of 110 dealing with facial hair and skincare services. Now, the thing about it is a lot of those, a large majority of those questions can be, you can do an educated guess or you can do process of elimination to get to a pretty good answer. Now, some of these questions, though, out of the 15%, we're not talking about scientific concepts right now. We're not talking about hair care services or implements, tools, and equipment. We are only talking about facial hair and skincare services. Out of those, there are some you just have to know. That's why we refer to the CIB to get an idea. Okay. Now, one thing that I've started to do that I want to continue as a practice is going over the CIB before we go over our material, because again, you're talking about a book that's about 800 and I think it was 830 pages. Let me make sure. That's the number I want to make sure I got now. All right, so you're actually looking at 829 pages, including the index. So instead of just going 1 through 829, this becomes excuse the AC, y'all. Just bear with me on this one, okay? I'll try to speak a little bit louder into the mic. All right, so instead of going through a whole book from 1 to 829, what we try to do is say, all right, well, look, what is it that we need to pinpoint? What is it that we need to study? The CIB is for that. And anytime you sign up to be a barber student and you sign up with State Board, they send you these resources within the email. Anytime you get an email from State Board, at the bottom, they have this information. They have the website that you can go to and you can access this information. But as your barber instructor, I'm going to take it as my responsibility to let you know about this just as well. That's actually one of the first things I talk about before we even get into the book. I talk about the CIB and what it means and how you can apply it and use it as a study guide for getting ready for your test. Okay. Matter of fact, for those of you that are in a different timeline, like say you've gotten your hours, you've taken the test and you failed, you need some help, I can help with that. Link is in the bio. Okay. Past Barber Theory. You can look me up on all social media platforms and you can pretty much find the same link in my bio everywhere. You can even Google Past Barber Theory and my name, which is right there, and it'll probably pop up. Okay, but I'm gonna get you there no matter where you stand with this, whether you just starting with the book or whether you completed the book, you've completed the hours, but you don't feel like you're quite ready for the test. I got you covered on all angles on this. Okay, all right. Part 4, facial hair skincare services, 15%. You have 4 points of contact or 4 letters. A, client consultation analysis documentation for facial hair and skincare services. B, applying knowledge of draping for facial hair and skincare services. C, applying knowledge of principles, procedures, and safety for facial hair and skincare services. And D, apply knowledge of purpose and types of electrotherapy and light therapy. Okay, those are the four right there. For the sake of speed, let me find my sound. I think that's the one. Wait a minute. Wait. Yeah. So for the sake of speed, I want to stay within the confines of your attention. Okay. Doesn't tend to go over 15 minutes. So I'm going to keep it at 15 minutes. I'm going to try to do that going forward, with the exception of Full Court Friday, where we go through a little bit of everything. But from now, 15 minutes. Hopefully they don't take this video down because of that sound effect. If you know anything about what I like to do and what kind of games I like to play, you know where that come from. All right, especially if you're a 80s baby like me, but I digress. All right. Out of the client consultation analysis and documentation for facial hair and skincare services, 1, I evaluate the client's skin, as in type and condition. 2, identify contraindications. Like we talked about in a previous video the day before, contraindications is anything that would prevent service. Okay, so we're talking disorders, we're talking diseases. Number 3, determine services and or products. And 4, document and maintain client records. That is consultation card, service history, medical history. Let me tell y'all something about that right there. So I haven't seen too much, and some of the students that I've done interviews with after they've taken a test, I've asked about that specific one. That is pretty low percentage, meaning there's a low possibility that you will see anything dealing with documentation and client records. But all 3 of those are common sense enough. You can derive an educated guess to that answer. Okay. And that's just me going through low percentage stuff. Now, of course, high percentage stuff is in the class. Once again, okay, I'm gonna plug that class every time I can. All right. Okay, let's see. Matter of fact, anytime I do plug the class, just be ready for this. Okay. That means the class is available. Go look it up. All right. It's on my online library as well, allevenbarberschool.com. Just saying. All right, so out of these, we're going to talk about evaluating the client's skin real quick. Let's find it, okay? Let's talk about skin types and conditions. Yes, going through the index. Let's see. Skin, okay. Analysis of 321. Well, there we go. Let's start there. Okay, skin analysis. It is preferable to analyze the skin with a magnifying lamp or light, but if one is not available, a close inspection of the skin will suffice. When analyzing the skin, it's important to note the client's skin type and condition and the skin's visible appearance and texture. Guidelines for performing a skin analysis and client consultation include the following. 1, observe the client's skin type, condition, and appearance. Feel the texture. 2, ask the client questions related to the skin's appearance and home care routine. 3, discuss the facial procedure and or treatment plans, as well as the products that will be used and why. 4, encourage the client to ask questions and then determine a course of action together. And 5, record information for the client's next visit. All right. Also, we're going to talk a little bit about types. So we talked a little bit about skin analysis, but let's talk about types. All right. 4 basic skin types. The barber will need to be able to recognize before the appropriate products can be chosen for a facial treatment. Skin type, primarily based on the amount of oil that is produced in the follicles from the sebaceous glands and the amount of lipids found between the cells. You got dry, normal, combination, and oily. Those are the 4 basic skin types. Any of these skin types can be sensitive to products, irritation, or the environment. All right. Dry skin is also known as alopecia or alipidic skin. It does not produce enough sebum, which is natural body oils produced by you. does not produce enough sebum to prevent the evaporation of cell moisture. This leaves the skin in a dehydrated state. When analyzed using a magnifying lamp, dry skin may be flaky or dry looking with small fine lines and wrinkles. The objective of a facial treatment for dry skin is to stimulate oil production for protection of the skin surface. Hydrating the skin with moisturizers and humectants, in addition to drinking plenty of water, can help minimize the negative effects of dryness and dehydration. Okay, they are talking about the skin in general. Guess what else that includes? That's right, the scalp, all of that too. Okay, so some of these questions that a lot of times you're asking your barber about your skin being dry and all that stuff, big question I tend to ask: are you hydrated? Okay, listen, I go through it too. I don't drink nearly enough as much water as I should. Okay, so I'm guilty of it too. So I tend to ask my clients that when we're talking about dry scalp and all that stuff. I actually might pull out this book and go through this section a little bit so they have a little bit more understanding. Okay, normal skin has a good water to oil balance. The follicle pores are a normal size and the skin is free of blemishes. Maintenance and preservative care is the goal for this type of skin. Pretty self-explanatory, all right? Oily skin characterized by excess sebum production and may appear shiny or greasy. The follicle size is larger and contains more oil. Oily skin requires more cleansing and exfoliation than other skin types, but over cleansing can strip and irritate the skin. If the skin is over dried, it is not balanced, and the body will try to produce additional oil to compensate for the dryness on the surface. Proper exfoliation and a water-based hydrator help keep oily skin clean and balanced. Something to think about. All right. And then you have combination skin. It can be both oily and dry in different areas of the face. I go through that. This tends to be more oily. This tends to be dry as hell. Just saying. These areas tend to have more sebaceous glands and larger pores. The T-zone is the section of the face that incorporates the forehead, nose, and chin area. The cheek and outer areas of the face tend to be dry. Water-based products work best for combination skin types. And last but not least, we're going to talk a little bit about wrinkles, okay? Wrinkles don't necessarily fit in any one of those four categories, but it is within the Part 4A1, okay? Evaluating the client's skin. So we are talking types and conditions, all right? Wrinkles are a condition. It's something going on with the skin that we also should know about, all right? All right, wrinkles, depressions in the skin that have developed from repetitious muscle action moving in the same direction. Other factors that influence the formation of wrinkles include the following: loosening of the elastic skin fibers due to abnormal tension or relaxation of the facial muscles, shrinking of the skin tissue as a result of aging, excessive dryness of the skin, and improper facial care. Okay, we are at 13 minutes and 23 seconds. Oh, that's the wrong one. Hold on. Nope. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna make this real quick. Out of all of that I said, there are 2 high percentage questions, medium to high percentage questions that came from some of the things we just talked about. I'm your instructor, Pierre Hui, aka Mr. P. The P is for patience. This is Wednesdays Live. This is the Barber Theory Study, facial hair and skincare services. Tomorrow, on Thursday, we will deal with implements, tools, and equipment. I will see y'all soon. Y'all have a wonderful day, wonderful hump day, wonderful afternoon. And if you know anything about me, Wednesday is the day before the new movies come out. All right. We got 2 that I'm really looking for. Stay tuned for that too, because I am going to be getting into these movies and these shows. Best believe. All right. We out of here.